Black people are right to be suspicious of a state that in 2005 found 215 black people that were dead and buried in a pauper's grave and nobody knew they were there. Black people are right to talk or to be suspicious of a state that just killed a 1-year-old boy and nobody's being brought to account about. Black people are right to be suspicious of a state that has been poisoning black people with the water since the 1960s. Black people didn't look for this fight.
Nope.
They want justice. All they want is accountability. And if it's those boys, it should be that. Nobody has a predetermined notion. I don't know what happened.
The older I get is when I realize common sense ain't common no more.
And I completely agree with that. Good afternoon. It is 4 p.m. DC time. It might be 7 p.m. down in the South, and I don't know about California, but welcome. Let's just jump right into this. As you can see, we're gonna be going over shout out to Poetic Flacco, you know, fair use. We just reviewing content and we just talking, okay? So you know, Officer Brandon Beyond Leon Leofis Ruckus Bitch Tatum has now shifted the blame. And the thing is, this is like, you know, he had a plan all along that we knew that eventually he would get to this point. And we're gonna be reviewing this, and then I'm gonna go back into some other things back and forth and let y'all know how this is going. But let's look over this right here, and you know, let's let Poetic Falco kind of update us.
Common sense ain't common, bruh. See, common sense would tell Officer Tatum why people are annoyed by his coverage, but he somewhat don't seem to understand, which I think even that might be a play. He might be lying about him not understanding why black people are annoyed at his coverage. People are annoyed at Officer Tatum because Tatum started off his coverage not with, I don't know what happened, I'm gonna look into it. He started it all off with, there's no evidence of any foul play, y'all lying. And then he got cooked during the Stephen A. Smith debate, and then he slightly adjusted his stance to, well, I can't rule out foul, in a foul play either. I just don't think these white folks did
it. And this is the problem that I have right here. This is the problem I got. It's like, you know, I know that Brandon, he you know, he loves his massa, and you know, and it's sad because my thing is this is like, you can't tell someone something that has a history of being over and over again. You looking at different cases right now, especially right now across the USA. It's a lot of black, especially black, okay, unsolved mysteries and unalivings that, you know, the police don't want to touch. That's the problem for all of us. And now, when it comes to this Nolan Well case, it's not anything else wrong. It's just like, listen, black, white, blue, yellow, whatever. Listen, something happened. We all know it. They lying. Because my thing is, now Warren Daddy got a $50,000 thing up there. Now, in my opinion, after hearing everybody else stuff, which I'm gonna let y'all hear too. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all hear some of everybody else stuff, but then we can get into what Flacco got going on. I'm gonna show y'all what everybody else has been talking about over here. Because it's very intriguing to me that we are letting it slide on by. Somebody need to be saying something. So let's check out this right here, right quick. This is what everybody been going over on TikTok.
Have the friends taken polygraphs?
Well, from my understanding, all but I believe one took a polygraph, and from what was told to me, that they all passed. And all of the ones that took a polygraph took one without a lawyer, and they cooperated with law enforcement. So, from my understanding, everybody took a polygraph.
I really want to know this. I really want to know this. My thing is this. This right here is from I think last night or whatever other night, when she brought Officer Tatum on there or whatever, and they need to subpoena him. They need to subpoena his ass, because my thing is this right here too. How you got more information than what the FBI got, the police got? I had seen some of the comments. Some of the comments say they think he being paid too. But I think it's all a tragedy. This shit fucked up. Crazy. Let's go.
That's from what you understand. Did they tell you they took a poly and passed?
Yes, ma'am. They told me that they did it. I wasn't there. So that's what I'm saying from my understanding. They told me that all the boys except one, which is Warren, I believe, took a polygraph test. All of them did not have lawyers and did it and cooperated with police. Warren also cooperated with police. I just believe he didn't take a lot to take the test, but Warren is the young man that I interviewed. So according to what they told me, they all took a lie detector test and passed. And it's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's not a traditional lie detector test, but it's the same theology of trying to get to if a person is lying. I don't know the name of it. It's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's a different methodology. I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe
it's equivalent to a I think for all black people, we just so tired of Brandon. He make our ass itch as a whole. He just give us a collective ass scratch. He gives us a collective ass scratch. This man right here, this man right here. Lord, white Jesus, he is ready. White Jesus, he ready. Lord, he ready.
They took other stressors in order to analyze if the people were telling the truth or not.
Did they take a polygraph would be no.
Well, yeah, I think it could be semantics because they took a test to analyze whether or not they were being truthful in their statements, and that certified test, they passed it. It just wasn't considered a traditional polygraph. I think it's a more advanced way of doing it.
Brandon Tatum. Hold on. In a nutshell, Joe Scott, there is a difference between a polygraph, which measures all sorts of body signals, your sweat, your breathing, your heart, your blood pressure, all sorts of things, and an audio verification test. Bombshell tonight. In the last 24 hours, Nolan Wells.
So they were there from last night too. So we're gonna go back just a little bit because I want to go just review some things before we go back to Flacco's thing, because we should just really review Officer Tatum's and him and his slowness. I swear to God, that man, he got a shell of a head, ain't it? He got a shell of a head. But let's go back and let's get some reviewing on some of what the TikTok is going on.
His family hits social media giants subpoenaing Nolan's accounts. His mother, Christine, says when her son's phone was brought to the family, they had concerns because there were no pictures or videos on either of his Snapchat accounts. Triggering their fear, items may have been deleted. Now, joining us, special guest, Brandon Tatum. You interviewed, as we played at the get-go, several of Nolan's friends. Right. Did they show you photos, videos, snaps of that day on Horn Island?
Well, Nancy, thank you so much for having me on. I spoke to 4 of the boys that are originally accused of being involved in Nolan Wells' death. And they did show me a lot of evidence. And in talking to these young men, the burden of proof is they're going to have to prove to me. I'm not going to listen to what they say out of their mouth. They're going to have to show me.
Brandon. Look, Ruckus. FBI, CIA, but they might not do shit anyway. Listen, they need to, if you've seen this, right? Why do you have more evidence than everybody else talking about? Because my thing, you ain't really showed shit. If they innocent, just show that. Because you haven't showed us nothing but a picture of them on the boat. They look really AI to me. Honestly, the picture look AI to me. I don't give a damn. Why the GPS was going back forward? Let's say, if we're going to take race out of it, please answer these questions for us. That's all. If you want to take race out of it, that's fine. But answer these questions for us. For us all. Do us all a favor. Tell us why the GPS kept on moving. Why they come out there running? Because y'all trying to blame this on Javon ain't going to work. Because he wasn't even there. But Brandon is selling us this shit. So let's see what Brandon keep on going on. What he said the other night.
And in many cases, they showed me videos of Nolan on the island. They showed me videos of the boat when they.
Brandon, they haven't showed. If they ain't showed you, let them show us. We ain't seen no evidence of nothing. What I don't think we ain't seen was a picture you got, bro.
We're getting towed out, which is consistent with kind of similar to what the phone call was. I mean, they showed me pictures of them with Nolan. They showed me phone records of them calling Nolan's mom and all of the above. So they seemed very consistent. They seemed very genuine. And they also proved to me some of the things that they had told me in the interview that I had with them that I have uploaded on my YouTube channel.
I figured it out. I figured out the Nolan Wells timeline. I know how they messed with the.
So that was a little update from last night. Let's go over to well, in fact, no. Let's keep a stay over here, then we go finish up with Flacco. So this lady right here, I enjoyed her. She was kind of breaking down this whole case too. And let's see what she's saying about this right here. I think y'all might enjoy a little bit of this, but she had a good breakdown from my side of it. This is 29, and I got 30 right behind it. Let's go.
GPS. I figured it all out. I figured out the lies that are based in truth. I figured it all out, and I've got proof. But stick with me because it's going to be a long video, y'all. Now, I found a 15-page Marine Patrol report that had lots of little details that prove that the boys had been lying. Okay. So I've already shown how at 1:30 in the morning, the initial Lieutenant Odom with the Jackson County Sheriff's Office said that his deputies spoke with several of the friends who traveled to the island on the vessel with Nolan. And they said that he left in the company of an unknown female and that he chose to remain on the island.
So what was the next step? Did you guys ever engage with police? Or
Yeah, so the first time I talked to police was July 7th. I talked to the lead investigator, and I told him my whole story, top to bottom. Dot every I, crossed every T. I told him everything I knew, every little detail.
Well, that's a lie now, isn't it, Warren? Because you talked to them at 1:30 in the morning that night. I mean, did you just forget to tell the cops about Katie? Because it's not like you didn't know it was her,
Right.
or you didn't know how to get in contact with her.
the girl he was with, Katie, had text somebody that she heard people yelling.
Correct.
Nolan yelling. Is
Yeah,
that
and I
true?
have a picture of that. She texted my buddy, and the next day everybody was panicking. Everybody was texting Katie, because she was obviously seen with Nolan the whole day at the island. Katie sent a message to my buddy the next day and said, this last night.
And what gags me is this. Since I don't even know what's going on, but I'm trying to figure out, was Katie even there? Because y'all love blaming this girl, because I know Bart got something to do with this whole thing. But now, you know what I'm saying, the blame went from the girl since they didn't stick. Now they on Javon. But we're going to get to Javon now in a minute. But this was going on.
Saw him, he's really sweet. But she also mentioned that the last time she saw Nolan was when my buddy was yelling at him to get on the boat.
But Katie says that she assumed that she went on the boat after y'all were yelling at him. And let's not forget that the last time you saw him was 3.
Well, Nolan was... The last time I saw Nolan was 3 o'clock.
Okay.
And Nolan was cradling a girl in his arms.
He was.
For some reason, around noon, the name of another girl who hadn't even seen Nolan in a year was given to the patrol to go interview, saying that she was with that group, not Katie. They also gave the name of a couple of other friends who they weren't able to get in contact with. And despite having a picture of a text message from Katie,
break it down.
Funny how you didn't share that with Officer Tatum. Probably could have cleared up some stuff real quick, right? Now let's get to the data. Now, at about 1:30 on July 5th, they were doing a flight of drones based on the relation of the last known anchor.
Listen, she is breaking this down. Do you hear me? I'm telling you. Welcome to 2026, where TikTok has become the crime solvers battle, the news battle, the real YouTube. I'm telling you, social media has taken over. Let's go.
Position of the Atkinson vessel, which I have documented right here. 4:30, Officer Strickland contacted Jennifer Pyrone, who was Wyatt's mother, who told them that he had already spoken to officers earlier in that day, but they were happy to cooperate with any investigation. And she let this officer take a picture of the GPS. Officer Strickland observed the track line showing Pyrone's vessel location on Horn Island, then gave coordinates. I'm going to need you to remember this exact phrasing. It's going to be important later on. Now, this was the GPS coordinates from the picture that the officer took, meaning that these coordinates had to be a different one that was verbally given over the phone by Wyatt. And you'll notice they're quite different. Now, you'll notice that this incident report says the involved entities are Bart Edmington and Jerry Adkerson, not Wyatt. Even though Wyatt is 18, he should be on this report. And you could argue that they were just giving the names of the people that owned the boats, but somehow I doubt that 21-year-old Bart owns that boat. You'll notice on this report that 2 different pieces of GPS evidence were collected. So now we're going to go to the July 8th report, where they came and they...
Now listen, Officer Taylor ain't even presented half of this shit right here. He ain't presented none of this, and he supposed to be an officer. He gets to drop the thing. He becoming another Dr. Cheyenne.
Took those GPS coordinates from both the Adkerson boat and Bart's boat. Yellow is Bart, blue is the grandfather Jerry.
Okay.
You know, the same Jerry that called and canceled the sea tow as the sea tow phone call was being made. Now, mind you, this is 3 days after the police had come and spoken to the mother and gotten the GPS coordinates. Now, Bart had a germane GPS map chart plotter. Jerry's boat also contained a germane GPS map chart plotter. Now, I had to look up the difference between waypoints, tracks, and routes. So waypoints mark specific spots. Routes connect them in a planned order, and tracks record your actual path. Now, according to that GPS data, there is no movement from 11 to 4:30, but we know that that's not true. Warren has never been able to logically explain how they ended up so far away from the shore. Because according to him, he said at 3 o'clock, that was the last time he saw Nolan, Bart was trying to yell at him to get on the boat. His brother got into a fight, so he got his brother to come over there. That's when he saw that it was all sinking, because he said this.
There's a lot of people on, so it drags water in, and eventually, I think over time we were out there for a couple hours, the boat just started filling up with water. So I popped the starboard side hatch, and the battery was completely underwater.
Yes, but according to Warren, he had just seen Nolan, like, neck deep, cradling a girl at the boat next to them. So how did they end up in 31 feet of water at the 4 o'clock call? There's an hour in between that. If the battery is submerged, how would they even get away from the sandbar? You can see in the background of this picture, they are far away from people. And yet this GPS is saying that you were stationary the whole time. But why? Especially because we have actual fucking proof right here. We have the coordinates that Wyatt's mom gave them the second time, and the cop took a picture of the GPS. Compare it to the GPS coordinates in which they were trying to get a tow from. But what if I were to tell you that not only does a waypoint need to be physically saved on this exact type of GPS, you have to intentionally say, mark this spot, or else it doesn't automatically save. It records your tracks automatically, but those are just saved coordinates. And it turns out you can actually delete tracks. It's super easy. You just go into the main menu and you delete it off of your data. So why is this GPS data, which is right here, so much further away than what the GPS says it is later? There's no data included in that GPS report that explains them going from here to here, unless someone went in and deleted those tracks. Because they probably dropped that waypoint once they anchored, which would explain why Warren said they showed up at 10:30 and the GPS says that they showed up after 11. And so then it wasn't until half an hour after the canceled tow that they dropped another waypoint. And mind you, the exact same GPS was used in both boats, and Wyatt/Jerry's boat has the tracks and routes where Bart's does not. And again, it tracks it automatically. So you have to intentionally delete those tracks. And why did they do that? Well, it turns out Jerry Atkinson just so happens to be the owner of Ocean Marine Group in Ocean Springs and Gulfport, which is literally a boat dealer. So guess who's gonna know that information? We already know Grandpa Jerry was in the mix, because the only way that he could have canceled the sea tow before it even started to head out is if Wyatt had called Jerry first and Jerry told him to call for a sea tow and then canceled it for him, which would explain why he couldn't give any descriptions of where the water was. How high was it? We know that the sea tow did not bring in the boat. In fact, Bart's mother came on Facebook and said that there are pictures from my son's boat of the boat about to be towed, which is clearly who is about ready to tow them here, as Wyatt is on the phone. I can tell you 100% that this is not a sinking boat. You can see Bart bringing them in this picture. But Bart was supposedly the one yelling at Nolan to get on the boat, remember? Why would he be yelling at Nolan to get on a boat that's sinking? Unless he was telling Nolan to get on his boat. And Warren accidentally explained what really happened with the engine. Whatever happened with Nolan happened on Bart's boat, allegedly, which is why all of Bart's information was deleted. So here's what happened. Both this one and this one confirmed that there was a fight that broke out on the beach. Started out with him, ended up with Warren's little brother. His uncle says, we gotta go. They hop on a boat and they leave. He grabs his drunk younger brother and says, we're getting out of here too. 3 o'clock, this whole caravan is trying to get the hell out of there because they're drunk and fighting. Wyatt's boat was in such a hurry that they couldn't figure out how to put the freaking trim down, which caused the motor to overheat, quickly stranded them, and Bart had to come help them. The time that Bart shows up, something has happened between him and Nolan. They're all distracted trying to fix the bilge pump because they didn't trim down. The waves were crashing over the boat and into the bilge pump, short-circuiting it. During this, some people have figured out that Nolan is gone. Other people just think that he's passed out or something, which is why Wyatt calls his grandfather to figure out what the F to do. And as the phone call is being made, more people are figuring out something's wrong with Nolan. That's why they didn't start moving again for 30 minutes. They were coming up with a plan and figuring out how to make it work. I've run out of time, but don't worry, I'm doing a follow-up to this video with more details, more information. And if you like my work, be sure to show your support in my bio. I'm not the kind of person that engages in drama.
She broke that down. When I said she broke that was 7:29. We're gonna watch the one for today too. So, but before we go back to that, let's get back over here to Batum Tatum. It's so sad. It's so sad. It is so sad. But let's get back over here and then let's go into what Flacco was talking about with Lee Office. Let's go.
Out here covering his Nolan Wells situation, pretending like, you know, he's not a tap dancer, pretending like he just wants the truth. When in fact, you know, his real intentions for bringing up how many black kids were on the island and things of that sort was to redirect the attention to black folks and take it away from the white folks that was suspects. And he just exposed his hand, right? And all it took was a little rage bait from D.L. Hughley. Okay, so D.L. Hughley responded to Officer Tatum, who has had his name in his mouth the last 2 weeks, right? D.L. Hughley finally gave him the smoke he was waiting for.
This is Brandon Tatum.
Y'all just see what unfunny ex-comedian D.L. Hughley just said about me. Posted a picture of me and my wife. To do what? To be a racist?
Hold on, Tatum. You can't play that race card, bro. You have said on numerous occasions, racism is no longer a thing. It doesn't exist. So if it's no longer a thing, then D.L. Hughley can't be racist, according to you. Now, D.L. Hughley didn't post a picture of Tatum and his wife to humiliate him. He posted a picture to get a point out. See, Tatum have been out here parading, doing PR work for potential suspects in Nolan Wells' murder, right? Potential suspects. I'm not saying they did it, but they are suspects. So he been out here running PR, disparaging Nolan Wells' mama, calling her a racist, calling her a race hustler, a grifter, when all the mama ever said was, I just want answers. The mama never assigned blame to anybody. The mama never said anybody did it. The mama even says she don't think it's about race, but she can't ignore that component. Tatum called the mama all type of names. So D.L. Hughley is showing people Tatum is doing this because of this context, right? So take whatever he is saying and doing right now in this context as a black man with a white wife. So when he out here, you know, is disparaging a black woman, when he's out here disparaging black folks, when he's out here working counter, right, for Nolan Wells justice, understand why he's doing it.
And the thing is, he's doing it because Tatum comes from where Tatum, he wants white approval so bad. And like, he don't even realize, like, motherfucker, they gonna spin your coin too every time. Every time. They don't need you to, they don't really need you anymore. They have Nick and they have all their other new flunkies like homosexual Sneeko to really, you know, go and flaunt and give out their racist antics when they want to, or they're just doing themselves. You got white men all over TikTok right now. They having a whole thing I had seen earlier about a whole war or march or whatever it is. So Tatum is doing these things for whatever he want to do them for. You know what I'm saying? For his own self-satisfaction, to make sure he feel fit in.
Understand who this man is. I think that was fair.
You are the lamest dude in all of comedy.
What is more lame than calling yourself the job you used to have? You're not an officer anymore. You were a football player who failed at being a football player. You didn't make the team, so you became an officer. That wasn't working out, so you became an influencer.
What you see it?
You talked about emotion. What is more emotional than this?
Today, we're making a GPT 5.6 series of
the word.
You cried for a white dude,
right?
Who the people didn't even think you worthy to speak at his funeral. You said you wouldn't cry.
Now let me tell you something. This man stood up here and said he wouldn't cry for his own son that came out of his sack that he had implanted in his own wife. He wouldn't cry, but he stood up here and boo-hooed for Charlie Kirk, a white man that he could even ride in the family car. If you can't ride in the first car or the second car or at least the third, you ain't got you. Oh, you don't folks. You ain't in that private circle. Okay, if you can't sit on at least the first 3 rows or the funeral, you ain't important in that circle, and they ain't let you do neither. They ain't let you have a mic at the funeral. Oh.
Cry for your son, but you cry for him. That's not emotion. You talked up the way Benjamin Crump talks.
Just want to blame white folks. And so I go out there because I know that lame Al Sharpton and Mr. I can't read Benjamin Crump is just race hustling, y'all.
You talked about how those boys are innocent. You had proof. Now, I don't know whether they're innocent or not. I don't know what happened there. But I know one conversation with a failed football player and a social media influencer is not the predicate.
Right.
You don't have any toxicology report.
No.
You don't have an autopsy report.
No.
You talked about black people acting a fool. Black people are right to be suspicious of a state that took 31 years and 3 trials to prosecute and find guilty the murder of Medgar Evers. Black people are right to be suspicious of a state that in 2005 found 215 black people that were dead and buried in a pauper's grave and nobody knew they were there. Black people are right to be suspicious of a state that just killed a 1-year-old boy and nobody's being brought to account.
Exactly.
Black people are right to be suspicious of a state that has been poisoning black people with the water since the 1960s.
Exactly.
Black people didn't look for this fight.
No, they didn't.
They want justice.
That's
all they want is accountability. And if it's those boys, it should be that. Nobody has a predetermined notion. No. I don't know what happened.
The older I get is when I realize common sense ain't common no more.
Right.
Bro, common sense ain't common, bro. See, common sense.
And I really love how DL Hugler broke that down, because at the same time, that's all. I mean, you tell it like, officer bitch. I mean, Tatum, I just don't know what to say about you, man. You just make as a collective, you make all of our ass itch together as a collective.
Would tell Officer Tatum why people are annoyed by his coverage. But he somewhat don't seem to understand, which I think even that might be a play. He might be lying about him not understanding why black people are annoyed at his coverage. People are annoyed at Officer Tatum because Tatum started off his coverage not with, I don't know what happened, I'm going to look into it. He started it all off with, there's no evidence of any foul play, y'all lying. And then he got cooked during the Stephen A. Smith debate, and then he slightly adjusted his stance to, well, I can't rule out foul, in a foul play either. I just don't think these white folks did it. And then as recent as today, his stance then elevated again to where he's saying he don't think Nolan Wells drowned and he think Nolan Wells was murdered. He just don't think he was killed by the friends on the boat.
Child.
So you started off with there's no evidence of foul play to now there is foul play, but you still pretended like black folks was in the wrong. All we're saying is we don't know who did it, but like everybody is a suspect. And we're not ruling out any suspects until somebody is apprehended and arrested. That's our stance.
That's all. That's all.
But Tatum comes out because, bro, he's so obsessed with trying to be, I don't know, like the savior for white folks. Yeah, he's so obsessed trying like trying to put on that cape.
He is. He loves his master. He loves his master. He loves his master.
Right? He's willing to do whatever it takes to placate to white supremacists. Which is why I think the first person they call is Officer Tatum. Right, they could have gone to NANCYGRACE. They could have gone to TMZ.
They didn't go to the FBI. They didn't go to the CIA. They didn't even go 911. They went to CETO, but they called Officer Tatum.
Have been pretty neutral. TMZ have been neutral. They could have gone to TMZ. No, but they went to.
Now TMZ ain't been neutral to me. I think TMZ they over there. They doing something different.
Officer Tatum, because they understand Officer Tatum will do whatever it takes. He will lie. He will misconstrue the facts. He will leave things out. He will make edits like he did during the interviews with the friends.
Yes, he did, because it's a lot of edits.
To make sure that whatever can make these kids look guilty would never come out. opposed to going to somebody, right, with an unbiased lens. So they're not trying to contaminate, right, the interview or the evidence with their biased lens. Tatum didn't do that, right? So because Tatum have changed his stance multiple times, because Tatum continues to disrespect the family and Benjamin Crump, even though Tatum is the one who has changed his stance. Benjamin Crump from day one have says, foul play happened here. We don't know who did it, but we'll find our answers. And because of that, Tatum is calling Benjamin Crump a race hustler, while at the same time saying foul play happened, but it's wrong for us to suspect that the white kids did it. What's wrong with suspecting? Everybody is a suspect.
Well, you know, if you suspect, you know, it's like, Jesus, this man, Lord, white Jesus, he ready to go, Lord. He ready. Swear to God, he ready.
But here's the problem. See, Tatum has a problem with us suspecting the white kids did it, but don't have a problem with us saying foul play happened. You know why? Because he wants to change it. He wants to redirect our focus.
Yes, he does.
To the 4 black folks that was on an island of 2,000 people,
Check this out, y'all.
less than 1/4 of 1% was black. He wants to direct our attention to them because he now wants to pass the blame to black folks.
Yes,
and he exposed his hand during his live stream.
2015 to 2024, about a 10-year period. 3,000 to 3,500 black Mississippians were killed by black offenders.
I'm not coming on Saturday. I'm strapped for cash.
Lord Jesus.
You should sell some stuff on Depop. There's no.
Let's go, y'all.
This mother said 3 scenarios.
Jesus,
didn't he?
I hate him so much.
He make sure that's right. He gave 3 stories of alleged impropriety. That seemed like a high number. But he gave 3 stories of impropriety spanning over, I don't know, 30, 40 years. Just in 10 years, there's 3,000 to 3,500 black people killed by other black people. You tell me what, like when y'all talk about historical context, when you stupid, all that stuff makes sense to you.
Black murderers
stupid.
kill people they have access to. White murderers kill people they have access to. Asian murderers kill people.
But I'm not gonna go too deep off in this. You wanna go over there and go check out the rest of the video. That is Poetic Flacco, and yeah, he covered that, and yeah, so Officer Tatum is now on this bitchery that he's normally been on, which is normal, but now he's on it again. Okay, let's see this right quick. Let me see, can I upload this?
Look at this.
Check this out.
NIGGER March, August 22nd in Minneapolis City Hall, 12 noon, a freedom of speech rally. This is utterly disgusting, demonic, wicked, racist, and anti-black.
Right.
And I don't want to hear nothing else. Hosted by Jake Lang, the same person, the same white man that went to the BET Awards to harass and stalk black Americans about their art form. Now, if this is not obsession, if this is not an addiction, if this is not utter mental illness, then somebody tell me what it is.
What is
because
it?
At the end of the day,
Thank
this
you.
is unnecessary, uncalled for, and
It's
absolutely
not.
unprovoked.
It's not.
What has black people, black American people, done to the Wahat population, the Wahat society of this country? Please tell me. Name me 5 things. And I don't want to hear anything about black on black crime, single motherhood. That does not affect Wahat people in this country. It doesn't affect them at all. They want to, DEI. That's no longer. And even when it was, it literally helped white American women more than it helped anybody else in this country. They want to talk about government assistance. We pay taxes. So our money is going into that pool. And guess who's getting majority of those benefits? White Americans.
Yep.
Immigrants. The Jewish community. Hello? Hello?
Have the friends
and so
taken
let me go
polygraph.
back to this. So of course this has just been what it is. I want y'all to see the rest of this right here, and then we'll jump back in. So let's check the rest of this out.
That's what I think, allegedly. They called Cito just to create an alibi. Yeah, because when dispatch asked him, hey, do you guys need Coast Guard? He said, no, we do not need them. With emphasis. I mean, if your boat is actively sinking, who the fuck do you need? And why are you making the phone call if you don't need help? That was all a motherfucking plot and motherfucking scheme. You get what I'm saying? They figure like, you know what? If we're dealing with this issue right here, how the fuck can we know where Nolan Wells is at? You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. You listen. If you had the right tools and equipment to fix that motherfucking bilge pump, you would have never made the phone call to begin with. And then mind you, they all drunk out their motherfucking mind. He made the phone call not even aware that it was recording from the time he called up until the time he ended that bitch. Not our fault. Huh? That's just God working in our favor, baby. And mind you, the grandpa just had to insert himself. He said, they do not need your help. They will call you if they need further assistance.
That's what they said.
Bitch, they ain't already made phone calls letting them know what happened, allegedly. Ha!
Yep.
What? No one's falling for the. I'm just so fucking sick of this shit. Like, for real. They just come. Listen, your cover is blown, bitch. Go ahead and just go to the nearest fucking police station.
Period.
And let the people know what happened to Nolan Wells.
Many of you are very angry and disappointed at TMZ. And I don't know why. I don't know why you ever gave this rag that is owned by a gay Republican, credibility in the field of journalism, but you guys are going to do it just like you're doing Nancy Grace, giving credibility where credibility has never been due, just for them to turn around and do some bullshit like this. So,
This right here, that right there, I think I played the other day. That was about TMZ, and I think it's about it for me. I think that's it for me because I want to go watch everything else on this case because this is getting more intriguing along the way, very more intriguing along the way. So a lot of people are covering this case right now as well. Rest in peace to Nolan Wells. Officer Tatum, you can go to hell. We ain't study you. And you know, I think this, if nothing else, I think something should definitely happen. I think all of my line, the story is twisted so much, and I just thank God for at least if nothing else, that we all can see it, especially through the internet. You have the ability right now to be able to watch everybody's view, and these folks, and especially the women, are breaking this case down like never before. They got Nancy Grace, but they got a lot of little Nancy Graces too. And so I'm grateful for that. So, you know, rest in peace to him. And I really pray and hope that, you know, we're able to, you know, get justice for him, because if nothing else, man, that young man, he deserves justice. He really, really do deserve justice. And I hope he gets it, real talk. So we shall see. And I'm finna go catch up on some more stuff and hit like and subscribe and tell me what you think. And yeah.